square unit that they're using here is one of the yellow sheets of paper. And like Faith said, they're using the same paper so it can all be the same size when they measure it. Because if one measured with a Post-it, they could probably get way more papers across there, don't you think? So it's probably better that they're measuring with the same one. Brody, do you have a question?
Yeah. Even if they use like a circle or something as one of their units, would it still be called a square unit?
Well, the important part of a square unit is that it has corners. And with the corners, they can meet up right next to each other and not have any space in between. But if it was a circle, there would be the space in between, or they would overlap. And when we're working with area, things cannot overlap. They have to be right next to each other in order to measure. That's a very good question, Brody. Thank you. Okay, so one had 3 times 4, and the other one had 6 times 2. So it's both 12 sheets of paper. This is still a pretty small room, sis, said Jeff. I bet my room is bigger than yours. No, it's not, said Jenny. Yes, it is, said Jeff. Quiet down, said Dad. That paper is too small to measure. Here, you can use this old newspaper to see which room has the larger area. So now they're going to measure the floor of their room with newspaper. Jenny taped sheet after sheet of newspaper along her walls. My room is 6 sheets wide, she announced. Then Jill helped her tape sheets along the next wall. That's 5 sheets, said Jenny. So if I covered the whole floor with newspaper, how many sheets in all do you think they would have? 6 one way, 5 the other.
30.
What was it? Can someone raise their hand and tell me? Adam? 30. How did you know that?
Because I know 6 times 5 is 30.
6 times 5. So do you think that they had to sit there and put all 30 down in there? Or do you think there's an easier way to solve that?
Easier way.
What's the easier way, boys and girls? Who can raise their hand?
Oh.
Kai?
You can by 5 times 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
But because we have this 6 here, what can we do with the 6 and the 5, Elise?
You can multiply that.
You can multiply 6 times 5. So, boys and girls, let's talk about again the square unit that we learned today. Why is it important, like Brody said, that it's a square and not a circle? Why is that important? Because we can just measure with circles, right? Circles all day. Why, Adam? Could we measure with circles?
Because the papers would be overlapping.
They would be overlapping. Exactly.
You would?
So what could we use instead of circles? What would be better so that they would be touching? Dominique?
A square.
A square.
Or
So in here they used yellow paper like this, and they used newspapers to line them up as close as possible without overlapping. So if I put this paper down, this bucket filler paper, and I looked at it here, and I wanted to know the area of this. What could I do with these little tiles, these square tiles? Adam. Put them in an array of a square. So I'm going to start up here at the edge, okay? Okay, so let's count how many are across on top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have 6 going this way, so now I'm going to go down the side, boys and girls.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So, boys and girls, should I keep going and fill it in all the way across, or do you think we can get our answer from this?
Get our answer from that.
Who can raise their hand and tell me what the area of our bucket filler would be? Faith, what would the area of the bucket filler be?
It would be 36.
36. And how did you get that answer, sweetheart?
Because 6 times 6 equals 36.
Right. So, instead of filling all these up up or counting them up with addition, we can just do this side times this side, right?
And you can
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys another one to see if we can solve it.
You can also find it out by doing 7 times 7 is 49 and subtracting 14.
Okay, so now, boys and girls, I have this Post-it note. Post-it note right here. Who can come up and use these square units that I have up here to help? Emma, can you please come up here? Now, Emma, are you going to lay the, come up. Are you going to lay the squares all the way across, or are you going to just do the edges? Let me see. So Kai, I hear you saying it's going to be 3 times 3.
I know.
Why do you say that?
Well, because there is
Before you saw it, you knew. I heard you.
Yeah, it was because it's a Post-it note. It's really tiny.
It's tiny. And
So-
Miss Jacobson was talking about a square yesterday, right?
Yes.
And we know a square, does it have all different sides, or does it have the same size?
Same size. It's called a right corner.
A right corner, a right angle, right, Miss Jacobson is saying that. Okay, so boys and girls, Emma has put the manipulatives, the square units, up here. Who can tell me the area of the Post-it? Damien.
9.
9. And did you know that by adding up the ones that weren't there, or did you multiply?
Multiply.
You multiplied. What were the numbers that you multiplied?
3 plus 3 times 6. No, 2. Then I need out 6. And then add 3 more and 9.
Add 3 more would make 9. Right. Thank you, Damien. Okay, I have another item up here that I need to find the area of. Can I have a volunteer to come up here? Elise, can you please come up here? We're going to measure this right here. Now before, Brody, we were measuring things that were squares, right? Like the bucket filler and the Post-it note. These were squares. So we knew that the sides were going to be the same or even, right, Kai? But this is not a square. This is a what? Who can raise their hand and tell me what this is? Dominique?
Rectangle.
A rectangle. So, Elise, will you please see if we can zoom it out far enough? There we go.
The top's going to be
Can you please use the manipulatives, the square units, and try to find the area? Who has a prediction of what they think the top is going to be? Who has a prediction, Miles? What do you think the top's going to be?
3.
3. 5. Okay. Who has a prediction for the side? Adam. 13. Okay. So how many on top, Elise? 5. Now you can do the side. So your guess was 13, Adam? Who has another guess? Brody? 12. Kai? 7. Or 8. Faith? Lucas? 9 or 10. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to look up here. You can just sit here, sweetheart. Okay, so we already know that the top is 5. So we know that because this is a rectangle that this cannot be 5, right? This is probably going to be more than 5. Because if this was 5 and this was 5, that would make this shape a what? Right, Emily, a square. That's right, because the sides would be equal. But this is a rectangle, so it's going to be different. Keep going, Elise.
It's going to be 12.
Yes, Miles. Do you have another guess?
I think it's going to be 12 too.
You think it's also going to be 12. Toby?
It's going to be 12.
13. I heard some 13s and some 12s. Damien?
Probably even 14.
Maybe even 14.
11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, no, 13.
Okay, so let's count these top ones together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's count the ones going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, 12.
Do we need to count it again? We can count it again if we're not sure.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. How about you guys listen to me count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I was right.
Some of our predictions were right. Okay, boys and girls, so now we have the sides. How can we find the area? Should we fill all this up and take some time? What? You can say it, at least. What did you say? That? How can we find the area?
5 times 13.
Well, 5 times 13 or 5 times
12. 5 times 5.
5 times 12. So who can think about what 5 times 12? What's the area here? Thank you. 5 times 12. Adam. 60. 60. I think that you are correct. Thumbs up if you also got 60 as your answer. Great job, Adam. So the area, if I were to ask you, Adam, what is the area of this rectangle?
Madison and Paige. Wait.
Yes, Madison and Paige.
Madison and Paige. Your great grandma's gonna pick you up by the flag.
There you go. Thank you, Kai. So, Adam, if I asked you the area of this rectangle, what would you say?
60.
60, right? And you know what I would also have you add on the end would be 60 what? 60 what did we measure by? This word that we've been practicing today. Up on the board.
Unit.
60
Square unit.
60 square units. Yeah. And if we were measuring, like the people in the book, they measured with paper, right? So if I were answering the question like them, I would say 30 square, not units, because we know what it is. 30 square what? What are these? 30 square papers, right? So if I was measuring something with a ruler, at least you can sit down here. If I was measuring something with a ruler and I was measuring by inches, when I was answering it all up, my answer for area would be what? What? Blank square. Square what? What are we measuring by? Damien?
Inches.
Square inches. Thank you, Damien. So if I was measuring by feet, it would be square what?
Inches.
If I was measuring by feet, who can raise their hand and tell me what my answer would say the area is? Lucas. If I was measuring by feet, say I was trying to measure this rug over here, this rug that we sit on for morning meeting. If I took a tape measure and I was measuring by feet, 5 feet by 5 feet, what would my area be? 5 feet by 5 feet.
23.
Faith.
25 square.
Square what? What am I measuring by?
Square feet.
Correct. Can you say that a little louder so other people can hear you?
25 square feet.
25 square feet. Thanks.